Hello and welcome, Essex County College family. This is the Virtual Cafe powered by Student Life and Activities. Today's episode number 66 is our SGA Election Week 2021 Candidate Forum. Wow. So we have some interesting candidates, some familiar, some new for your student government association. They are running for your student government association. And the reason that I say that, students, is because they are not my student government association. They are your student government association. They are fighting on behalf of you. They are trying to get to matters that you care about and that are pertinent to your interests. And they're trying to stand up and fight for what is right for their fellow students, which is you. Take advantage of this. Reach out to your student government, utilize them, share with them your thoughts and your concerns. This is one of the very few things that we have in life that is exclusive to you. So this is one of the things you'll be able to say in 10 years. I exclusively had a student government association at Essex County College, and they work for me. They don't work for the college. They don't work for Student Life and Activities. It's its own entity, and it is the most vital and important entity that you have here at the college, in addition to your own studies and education. So the purpose of today's Virtual Cafe is to get to know these folks, hear what they have to say about student government, hear what they have to say about the college, and maybe any ideas that they have going into our next 2021-2022 semester. So without any further ado, we are going to get into meeting this year's candidates for the 2021-2022 season, and then we will explain a little bit about voting, which opens up today as well in web services. So let's meet our candidates. All right, students, please meet Ms. Sarah Deliska. She is running for Secretary of the Student Government Association. Sarah, let your fellow students know whatever you want to let them know about your campaign for office in the Student Government Association.
Hi, this is my first time ever running for student government. I'm kind of nervous and I'm not very experienced in this, but I truly am passionate about it. I think I can make a difference, and I want to make this school better. I want to serve you, the students. I truly love this school. I do. Yeah, and I want to help any way I can.
Okay, that was Sarah Deliska. She is running for Secretary of Student Government Association. Let's get into our next candidate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yolanda Brown.
Okay.
She is running for the Senator of Community Relations in your student government. Yolanda, let your fellow students know whatever you want them to know about your campaign.
Okay, I want to apologize for having my camera off, but I'm currently at work, so I'm not able to cut the camera on. But that is me in the picture. And as he said, I'm running for Senator of Community Relations. This is my second semester at Essex. I've been doing it virtual, so I've actually never even been on the campus of Essex, but I'm very excited, hopefully in the fall when school opens back up, that I will be able to finally visit Essex. I chose the position because I really care a lot about community service, and I've been wanting to find a way that I'm able to give back to my community. So what better way would be not to only be on SGA at Essex, but at the same time in a position that allows me to give back to my community as well as to Essex County College. So that's a little bit about myself. I'm an education major. I currently work for Leaders Head Start. I'm an early childhood teacher. I'm married, have 3 kids of my own, and I'm just looking forward to bringing a new, fresh, and perspective ideas to SGA. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. That is Yolanda Brown. She is running for the Senator of Community Relations. Again, your student government. I'm going to keep re-emphasizing that to you because these are your potential leaders. We're moving on. Okay, students, this is your current Student Government Association Vice President. This is Jessica Vega. Jessica is running for a different position for student government for the 2021-2022 academic year. And without any further ado, I will let her take away. Ms. Vega, let your fellow students and peers know whatever you would like them to know about your campaign for student government this year.
Thank you, Mr. Oz. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out and joining us today. And as Mr. Oz said, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Jessica Vega. I am your current Student Government Association Vice President. I am actually running for this semester as your Student Government Association President. The reason for my position change is I feel that with everything that student government has been able to accomplish this semester, as far as our contactless food drive, the ability to sit here and help our students with their FAFSA applications, to be able to sit here and help our students when they needed, when they were looking for major changes and not understanding who their counselors were, they always turned to Student Government Association. And even though we may not have been on campus, we've always made ourselves accessible for our fellow students, because at the end of the day, we do represent you. You choose us to put us in these positions. So at the end of the day, you give us your stamp of approval to say, I want this person to represent me because I understand what they're going forward. As going from vice president to into hopefully a presidency seat, my plan does not change. My plan is to keep pushing SGA forward in the right direction as far as our students are concerned, coming forward and asking the students and letting them know what is it that you need, always feeling free and always feeling confident that you can reach out to any one of your Student Government Association candidates at this point. Hopefully when we get together at the end of before the end of the semester, we do have a lot of expectations as far as what SGA we want to shine. But most of all, I feel that as far as me being president, I always want the student body to know first and foremost, and above everything else, I am here as a representation of you. You put me in the position to become president, and I will do my due diligence to make sure that your needs are met, the things that the students want can be accomplished. But most of all, the legacy that we leave behind as far as SGA is concerned is that our representation of our students, of our student body, was the best as you end or start your college experience.
Sorry, I have a question for Ms. Jessica.
Yes.
You said you guys are accessible. I've not been able to access anybody. If I have any problem, I always call the welcome center. So I don't know how, is it your email or your number, or how are you guys accessible? Because yeah,
that is not a problem. My email is everywhere, and I will put my email in the chat. If you have any questions, any problems, any concerns, anything that you may need as far as the college is concerned, please feel free to contact me. I will be more than willing to sit down and set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting with you. And then that way, any concerns that you may have, you can definitely bring them to the table and we can discuss them and figure out how would be the best way to handle it. So I will go ahead and put my email in the chat for anyone whom that may need it or may have questions after the fact and they feel that they want to communicate with me. That's the best way to reach me. I have multiple ways of getting my emails. And like I said, I'm very, very accessible. So I'll do that now for you.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
All right, we want to thank the very accessible Ms. Jessica Vega, current Vice President of Student Government Association, and is running for president for the 2021-2022 academic year. We are moving on, meeting your SGA, Student Government Association candidates. Our next candidate, Ms. Khadijah Dornford, is running for the Senator of Community Relations. Let's hear a little bit more from Ms. Dornford. Khadijah, let your students and your peers know about your plans and your campaign for student government.
Hi, everyone. My name is Khadijah Dornford. I am currently majoring in liberal arts and I'm running for the position of community leader in the SGA. Okay, so I am someone who has strong leadership and high integrity, and it is in my best interest to improve the environment as a student and as someone who is always willing to solve problems. I want to use my skills I have and the skills I've learned academically to keep our community thriving, basically. If I were to be elected as your community leader, I would reflect on strength and core values such as recognizing diversity, promoting inclusiveness, openness, and overall good communication. I'm committed to finding new ways to positively contribute to our college's community and ensuring that everyone has a voice. So vote for me, and I will do my best to fulfill my obligations.
All right, moving on. We have our current SGA treasurer who is running for office for this next academic year as well. Let's find out all about it. Nick, are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay, folks, this is Nick Mendez again, current treasurer, and let's find all about what he has planned for 2021-2022.
Hey guys, pleasure to meet you. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nick Mendez. I've been an Essex student since summer of 2019. I'm a current criminal justice major, and I aspire to be a criminal defense attorney, which is also why I want to be our SGA's vice president for the 2021 to 2022 school year. I want to be our vice president because of my mantra of wanting to be a defender. I want to defend our voices. I want to make sure that we're heard. I want to make sure that everyone is armed with the information that they need to be successful as students and also as leaders. This is something I've been passionate about ever since high school. We can't all figure out the answers for ourselves. I was never able to do that for myself either until I've learned how to work with other people and put yourself out there and not be afraid to make mistakes or reach out to people who you might not want to reach out to in order to get what you need to get done. So that's why I really want to be a vice president, to make sure that our voices are continuing to be defended, continuing to be heard. And also, I mean, I work with a really great team. I mean, look at Jessica, look at Khadijah, look at Yolanda Brown, who I had class with. These are all great people. Look at Sarah. I'm looking forward to really working with these people. It's not about just what I can do as the vice president, but it's also about what I can do with my team. And we've got the foundation in place to get big things done. And even if they're not overnight, they might not be right away, we can get them done incrementally and get them done over time. So that way, even if things haven't gone so right or well right away, later in the future, we'll be able to say that we work toward making something better. And that's what this is all about. That's what student government is about. That's what we're here to do. So let's get together. Let's work together. And please vote for me to be a vice president. I'm just looking forward to making a better community.
Okay, so that's Nick Mendez. He is your current SGA treasurer, and he is running for vice president of your Student Government Association. Ms. Dornford, if elected, what is something that you want to let your peers and students know that you're interested in tackling, or you're interested in getting into, or something that you've seen or something that you haven't seen on campus that you want to see? What is an item that you would like to get into if elected to Student Government Association?
Probably more interaction and good communication, because I know that some students feel as though they have to separate themselves from other students who are louder, participate more. I feel like, yeah.
Very cool. Ms. Deliska, if elected to office, same question to you. What is something that is important to you that you either see or you don't see on campus that you want to get started on working on if you're elected to office?
I'm really interested in public speaking and helping the students prepare for the future careers. I would love to just work with a class or a club, public speaking club, to help kids prepare for that. That's something I'm really interested in.
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Mendez, what is something that you would like to get into during the 2021-2022 academic year that you were not able to accomplish during your first term in the government?
Sure. Thanks, Joe. So what we're really going to be looking at now is kind of like that revival of clubs, right? We need to revive culture within the campus. We need to revive involvement within the campus. Clubs are really the door, so to speak, to the bigger issues that we might be confronting or the things that we might want to address as a collective. So as long as we've got culture and clubs and different outlets for different students to represent themselves or be heard or to be creative, as long as we get that back up and running, we feel like the spirit in the school will continue to endure. That'll also help us reach out to more prospective students as well. So just really making sure that we get those clubs back up and running. Also making sure that we continue to serve the community as well. So that's where the Community Relations Center is going to be really important, working with Jessica and I if we get our positions, because we're really going to want to get out there in this post-COVID world and help people, because you still have people reeling from different things that they've gone through. You have members of the student body who are going through different things that we might be able to help with. So again, restoring that culture with clubs, continuing our visibility through community service. So those are two things that we really want to nail down.
Okay, and before I forget any further, we can't bring Yolanda on the screen because she doesn't have the camera on, but I do not want to forget about her. So before we move any further, Yolanda Brown, same question to you. If elected to office, what is something that you care about deeply that you would like to help your fellow students at Essex with during your term, if elected?
Just like Nick, I think the clubs were a very big deal. I know I'm an education major, so education is that early childhood education is very important to me. So I would like to see the Future Teachers Club started back on campus. Just some more focus on education, and especially early childhood education, because I do feel like that's one aspect of education that doesn't get a lot of focus, is maybe preschool and up to the higher grade levels. With the little kids, I think more focus on that, because with the little kids, they are learning and we are teaching them. So I would like to see more focus on early childhood. That's what I would like to see.
Very cool and unique answer. Thank you, Yolanda. All right. Miss Vega, if you can, succinctly let us know what you would like to tackle during the 2021-2022 semester that you did not get a chance to do during your first term.
Mr. Ott, thank you. This is something that I've been thinking about and I've actually spoken about before, but I want to bring more unity to the aspect of the student life with our staff. I feel that there are some staff members that do have that collaboration with our students. So with us coming into a new team, coming into a new semester, one of my ideas was having a student versus staff softball game. Why not have some fun with this? Why not come together? COVID guidelines, understandable. We have to still keep that in mind because we are still in the era of COVID, but have some fun with it. Even though what we do, and even though we will be tackling very serious matters when it comes to our Student Government Association, and especially with what our students are going to be coming forth with to us, we want to still keep it light. We want to keep it fun. We want everyone to understand that, again, it's about having that communication and having that connection with the administration, with the staff members. And what better way than a softball game? Why not have some fun with it? You understand? And at least this way, if we have issues, then have that communication there, kind of bring it to the table, see where we are with it, and then move forward from there. And then that way, we already we extended the olive branch. We're having fun. We're sitting here and we're understanding that, yes, it is a serious matter. There may be very serious topics that we're dealing with, but we try to keep it as lighthearted as possible, so that way we always have these lines of communication open with all the administration, like Dean Kirkland and Dean Slade and Mr. Graham and Dr. Bawachi, who have always been our pipelines, but are also our very, very, very backups to be able to run a successful SGA.
Thank you, Miss Vega. Okay, we have a new party member that we are adding to our screen of faces. Please give a nice Essex County welcome to Mr. Professor Guru Jamil Graham.
Mr. Graham.
Thank you for the introduction, Joe. So I do have a question for the candidates, and I thank you all for mentioning student engagement, involvement with clubs and organizations. And my question kind of comes back around to that. What will you do to increase the awareness of the significance of the Student Government Association and the significance of the student voice to a wide range of your peers, and encourage your peers to join clubs and participate in clubs and campus activities? For anyone.
Let's start with Khadijah. Go ahead, Khadijah.
I would probably go to their classes and try to like explain what because I've never heard of SGA like until now through emails and stuff. So I would probably say go around to different classes if we are on campus and try to like talk to everyone about it.
Okay, that's a wonderful idea.
Nick?
So what I've been doing already, I don't know if anyone knows this. I think I've told a couple of people, my day job is marketing. And that's what this is about, is to market to our student community what it is that we're doing, when we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, and have their input on how that happens. What I've started doing in essence of this campaign was emailing everyone that I've been in class with from my Moodle and telling them what we're up to. The food drive that we just had the past week, I made sure I got that out to everyone that I've ever been in class with. This is also where it's going to be important to form a relationship with professors. I'm sure someone like Mr. Graham would be open to having a student come in and explain the importance of student government and what that means for each student in the class. I've taken a class with Dr. Davis. I don't know if there are any other criminal justice majors in here, but she's allowed me to kind of get our voice out there in the class as well as help me reach out to different students. So as long as you treat it as marketing, where you go to you just email all the students you know. I know it might seem weird or intrusive, but you never know what can come out of that. I've gotten some pretty interesting responses out of just emailing people and letting them know that we care about them and what we're doing and what we're up to. You do that, partner with your professors, make sure you ask for that time, especially since we're going to be on campus now. Being in a student's face is really going to help us get the message across that student government does matter and that everybody should participate in it. And then again, also when you email people as well in different classes, they might have different interests that you might not have, but they have, and they may want to see a club of that nature on campus. So that's really where you're going to have to get most of that information from, is by treating it like a marketing initiative and not being afraid to ask for the time to speak in class. Or if you're a little bit shy, send an email. Never hurts.
Excellent. Yolanda?
Yes. Again, I think just communicating with your fellow classmates, like for instance, with this election, I have a Tuesday and Thursday class. I have college algebra, and my professor allowed me to actually talk to the class. I actually used, they were my classmates to get the signatures that I needed to run the campaign. Actually, I think everyone in the class actually gave me their email and their name and allowed me to use it. And during that time, I was able to discuss with them what SGA was, because a lot of them didn't even know what SGA was and what SGA did. So I think just really talking to your classmates and actually having a professor who doesn't mind letting you use that platform, if my it's a math class, he still let me use the platform to reach out to my fellow students and actually encourage them to help me get, run for this office. And I actually plan on speaking to them again tonight when we have class and encouraging them to vote. I think just using the platform that you have. I also have other friends who I went to class with last semester, actually the class me and Nick had, and I was able to reach out to them, and they also said that they would go out and they would help vote and campaign for me. So I think it's just about relationships and getting to know people. Even though it was a little difficult because we're virtual, I was still able to make connections with people I've never met in person over a Zoom, and they're actually helping me with this election. So I just think about talking to people, communicating is the best thing for us to do.
Thank you. We lost Sarah D. If she comes back, we'll ask her the same question, but we'll move on to Miss Vega. Miss Vega, would you like to answer Mr. Graham's question?
Well, as current SGA vice president, one of my duties was to actually be in charge of the clubs. And I know that as far as communicating with the clubs, and what I did was I held monthly meetings, and I did a lot of research as to finding out from our students what clubs they were interested in. I know that at some point, a lot of our clubs had actually fallen off when COVID hit because they weren't sure how they were going to be able to pull it off over Zoom, or figuring out how to interact or come together and things of that nature. So my plan was, and it seems like it's a general consensus across the board, where we all used our classes. I was allowed through all of my professors very, very graciously to be able to sit here and give out the information that with the things that SGA was doing, as far as our food drives, our forums, our different participations in the different volunteer activities that we had to do. During my time as vice president, I was actually able to create or revamp, as I would like to put it, two clubs, which was an anime club and the gaming club, which are still currently running today. And I keep in contact with them. They use Discord as a forum in order for them to communicate. So I'm constantly making sure, do you guys need anything? How are things running as far as your clubs are concerned? So just, I think, open communication, always having that open communication, giving the students what they need, giving them the information in a proper way. I think, sometimes emails can be overloaded with information and it gets bypassed. So a lot of the things that, SGA may be doing, or a particular club may be having an event, can get bypassed because it may be an email overload. So we do it on an individual basis in each of our classes, and we have that opportunity to reach out to a student that may not know, oh, I'm interested in that, I didn't know it existed. Now they have that opportunity to make that decision to say, okay, now I can get involved.
Excellent. Thank you. And of course, Sarah D., Mr. Graham's question, which in a nutshell was, what would you do to help increase clubs and activities on campus when we come back to school?
I would make sure the students know all the clubs that we have available. And I would make sure that they know that they can, how helpful they can be to them, how they can find a community there, basically, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a question in the chat from current SGA Secretary, Miss Manuel Simo, and she asks, good afternoon, everyone. I came a little late, so I apologize if the candidates have already commented on this. Is there any proposition or plans to enhance the work and impact of SGA, taking off from the current SGA's field of actions? How do you plan to connect and get in touch with as many students as possible? I believe that's what she meant to say. So basically, she's asking, what will you do to build off of what SGA has done already in the past 2 semesters, past year? And what is your plan to get in touch with as many students as possible? Now, to differentiate this question a little bit from what Mr. Graham asked, let's say, what methods are you planning on reaching out to students when there is an SGA event or a college event? We all know we use social media, but when you're thinking about answering this question, what are some other ways besides social media, or what are some plans, potentially for social media that you would do, like as far as a campaign or anything like that, not for student government, but for an activity or an event that's coming up? How do you plan on getting info out to the students? Let's start with Nick Mendez. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so essentially the plan now would be to revitalize both the Instagram and the Facebook pages. We're going to really make it about posting every week, even twice a week if necessary. We're also going to make sure that when we are back in the building, that we do have that old-fashioned print out a poster and hang it up in the hallway, hang it up in the classroom, whatever we have to do to really get that message out there in front of your face. We've seen that social media works best But you have to have a combination of two things. You have to be able to be influential over social media, but you have to be able to go in person to a classroom or to a meeting or sit in the student center and really advertise whatever program is up and coming. And it's funny that we had that question from Ms. Simo, because we want to make sure that, we carry on her project, especially with Aunt Flo. Getting it out there is going to be really important, and no matter which way it takes shape, we want to make sure that we continue to advertise that. So again, you got to have a combination of both. You got to be able to speak up in class and hang flyers on walls, but we also have to be more vigilant with Instagram and Facebook. And as your vice president, I'm going to be looking to really use it like I would use my own every week.
Excellent. Khadijah, do you have any ideas about how to reach out to students? And also, do you have any ideas on how to branch out on what SGA has already done as far as their food distributions this year, and any other volunteer opportunities like cleanups in parks and things like that? What ideas might you bring to the table, and what routes would you take to let students know about all the awesome things that you do?
I definitely agree with what Nick said about the posters, putting up posters around the school, but most importantly, getting in touch with the students in person.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to let you all know that human to human interfacing and interaction, that's going to be your number one way to actually reach students on an individual level. Obviously, you're going to use every method available to you to do this, but the more one-on-one interactions that you have with your fellow students, the more it lets them know that you're also a human, you're also a student, you're also going through all the same stuff that they are, and you're trying to make it better for them. It'll make your peers and your students feel better for sure. Sarah, same question to you. What avenues or routes might you take to get information from SGA to students? And what ideas might you have on expanding on some of the programs that they have already started working on?
An idea I have to add on to what they've already started would be to maybe create flyers or posters or anything to inform the students about nutrition, about like staying healthy, and all of that. And also a good way to reach out to students might be to ask the professors for help, to talk to professors and allow you to come to the class and to inform them about all the things that SGA is currently doing, how SGA is trying to help them. And yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah. Same question to you, Yolanda. What would you do to expand upon what SGA has done already, and how would you get it out there to students?
Social media, I think, is obviously one of the best ways to get it out to the students, because most students are on some form of social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. They have all different kinds. I think that's the best way. But also just old fashioned in your face, person to person, 6 feet apart, of course, on campus, walking, meeting people face to face. I think that's one of the best ways also to get the events out there. So people will, because a lot of us, I know like myself, we've never even been on campus. We started Essex online, virtual. We've never been on campus. So I think that'll be the best way to do it, face to face, in person.
Excellent. Awesome. And last but not least, Ms. Vega, what would you like to do to expand upon projects that SGA has already begun? And also, what new and creative ways might you have to get this information to students?
I think for me, as an art major, I like being creative. I like thinking outside the box. And for me I like the one-on-one interaction. Like I said, still going through CDC and COVID guidelines, making sure that we're being safe, wearing our mask and sanitizing gloves and whatever we need to do. But I feel that using the outside part of the facility, not necessarily even being inside the building. We have a courtyard. We have so much space in our courtyard that we can use and utilize in order to have a SGA kickoff during the summer, to not even to say, here we are as a group, but it's to invite people in See, people hear SGA and they automatically feel like, oh, we have to hold a position. You can be just an active member in SGA. You don't necessarily have to even hold the title. And I don't think a lot of students realize that. I feel like because of the positions that are open now, yes, that's what our ultimate goal is. That's what we want. We want to hold the position. We want to be able to say, I'm your representative in this position. But a lot of students don't realize that they can come and just be and apply to be a member, and your voice can still be heard. By doing that, a lot of people are zoomed out. They don't want to do Zoom meetings anymore. They kind of flourish and run through their social media. So like I said, we have an amazing courtyard right in between the Dasher Center and in between one of our main entrances, where we can set up social distancing tables and say, hey, listen, this is SGA, this is what we're about, hand out information, answer questions, do a personal meet and greet that way, so that they can understand and come to us and say, hey, listen, I got to meet this person in person and not just behind the camera. I think those kinds of methods, and being able to do it in a form and fashion where we're on the grounds, we're meeting in person, we're not necessarily in the building, but we still have that person-to-person touch with one another, where you can get a person's expression, even though it's still, you can see our faces and we're behind the camera, that feel that understanding that having that personal time with that person on a one-on-one basis is always so much more valuable to a student, especially if they're going through something that they may not feel that they want to email you about, will make a difference in the life of the student. And that's what SGA is about. It's about, we're here to make a difference in the life of our students, and to help them understand that you have a small amount of time at ECC. We want to make it the best experience as possible.
Okay. We want to thank Ms. Vega. Thank you for that beautiful response. Does anybody have any questions for our student candidates before we begin to wrap things up? This is your last chance. The floor is open to you, students.
Yeah, my question is for those that are in place now, Jesse and Nick. Yeah, you guys have been there, because I've been in Essex since I think 2019, and there have been some activities going on, the cookouts during summer, playing music. I love those activities, but now everything is remotely done now. What are you guys doing to, to reach out to people to fill up the space of that particular, someone like me, I look up to that. Last year they did that too. I even had a mug they gave me at home, so many things they gave, like you eat popcorn, all those stuffs, you listen to music and stuff. What have you guys done? Because since the COVID started now and everything is remote now, what have you guys done? My question is for those that are in place now, the VP and the secretary. What have you guys done to like fill the space of that particular activities?
Well, we haven't really been able to, right? Because the CDC guidelines and current state guidelines won't allow us to. And that's what really, quite frankly, sucks. What we have tried to do, though, and what we got together and did in the fall, was we volunteered for Jersey Cares, because we're able to have a small amount of students get together in Branchbrook Park and help with a community cleanup of sorts, where we were all 6 feet apart. We follow social distancing guidelines. That's pretty much the way we're able to get together. Secondly, we're able to do the community food pantry giveaway. We got to hang out as a group, and you see, like when Jesse was saying, volunteering with us allows you to do things like that. You don't necessarily have to hold a title within SGA, but if you're a volunteer, you can certainly come out and help us do things of that nature. So we're going to really need to be creative and inventive when it comes to getting together, because we're not at that ability to do a cookout or do a party or hold a softball game just yet. But we're going to have to pick up the slack where we can. And part of what I'm doing right now, I've been scrounging around on Jersey Cares website. I've got a membership with them. There are a couple of volunteer opportunities coming up that, even though if you're not attending summer 1 or summer 2 classes, perhaps we can get an email list going. I know Jesse's email's in the chat. Reach out to her. She'll reach out to you. And we can all pick a day where we go and just volunteer out in the community, because it allows us to be socially distant and, have a conversation and just talk and hang out and chill. Even though we can't do that in the type of form that we used to do it before, there are certainly ways to still do it.
All right, then. We would like to thank our 2021-2022 Student Government Association candidates for showing up to the virtual cafe today. Thank you for letting your student peers meet you, and thank you for expressing the love and care that you have for your peers and your fellow students, and wanting to be a part of student government and wanting to help them. It's more important than you could possibly know. So we want to give a big round of applause to all of our candidates for showing up today. Seriously, thank you.
And thanks for hosting, Joe.
No
Yes,
problem.
thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who was able to come and attend. We really appreciate your time and effort. Now the decision is yours. You've heard what we had to say. You've heard what we've been able to do. We have a plan in play. We're going to stick to it. Now it's your decision. As long as you felt that what we told you is what you want to hear. I know right after this, Mr. Graham, if I'm not mistaken, the polls will be open. Mr. I'll let you know how to do it, and you get to choose who you want to be your new cabinet for our Student Government Association.
Thank you, Ms. Vega. All right, I'm going to set up the screen real quick. We want to thank, future politicians. You got to love them. You got to love them. They care a lot, my Lord. Okay, everybody, I'm going to share with you right now a graphic that is important. So please take a look at it, and we are going to just talk about it very quickly. Okay, the polls are open very shortly in the next few minutes. From today, Tuesday, April 27th, through Friday, April 30th. That's today and to Friday only. 3 very easy as pie steps to get this done, folks. It'll take you a minute. I apologize if it takes any longer than that. Step 1, log into web services. You know the deal there. You're probably there multiple times per week. Step 2, click on a SGA elections link. It's going to be right there for you. SGA elections. Can't miss it. Step 3, vote. All you got to do is select the candidate that you want. If you have any trouble at all, you know our guru, Mr. Graham, is ready for you at jgraham1@essex.edu. If you have any technical issues with voting in web services, let him know. He will assist, no problem. Once again, this is SGA election week. The polls are open now to the 30th. That's this Friday. Log into web services, click on the SGA elections link, and vote. That is all you got to do, folks. We want to thank you for tuning into the virtual cafe today. We hope you and your families are doing very well. Please do not forget to vote for your Student Government Association. They're going to do a lot for you in this upcoming academic year, and we want to be there to support them too, and give them all the input and everything they need to get an awesome job done for the students at Essex. So we will see you soon. Don't forget to go vote. Web services. We will catch you next time on the virtual cafe. Please stay cool, stay warm, take care of each other, take care of your family, and we will see you next time. Take care.